Blessed greetings all. Wisdom here again with another plumbing how-to video. All right, so what we're going to be doing today is soldering, right? And not just mere soldering, but soldering copper pipe, right? So copper pipes and fitting, the method of joining for today is soldering. So soldering is pretty much an adhesion process where a soldering compound, right, a mixture of either lead and tin or tin and other alloys, right, is used to actually join the fitting and pipe together, right? So before we go on with the video, just want to outline a few of the tools, step-by-step tools that we'll use to achieve soldering or the end results of soldering. So the first thing we want to do before anything, we want to get our tools together, right? You see I have an assortment of tools right here. So going through them from the first to the last step, right? And we're going to be taking this very, very quickly, but easy enough for understanding for all persons and all viewers. Remember again, always to like, to share, to subscribe, and also don't be afraid to leave your comments. If you have any questions, don't be afraid also to ask questions. All right, so the first step is to cut the pipe. So cut the pipe to the varied length that you actually want, right? So this that we're seeing before us, this is a tubing cutter, right? And the tubing cutter, it has a cutting blade and it is designed to hold the pipe and rotate and actually cut the pipe. You'll see me using it later down in the video. And the other simpler method is by using a junior hacksaw. So this is a junior hacksaw, or some persons might call it a mini hacksaw. It's a smaller version for the universal or the big hacksaw that we know about. So after cutting, you want to proceed to clean. So you have to prepare the ends of the pipe and the inside of the fitting in order for any unwanted areas of the pipe to be removed, right? So whether it be any small holes or dirt or whatever debris that is on the pipe, you want that to be removed. So the first cleaning equipment or first cleaning material that we're looking at is steel wool. Right, some persons use it scour pots, right, steel wool, right, typical steel wool, right, metal strands coming together to make steel wool. So and what we really use this to do is to rub the outside of the fitting, or rather the inside of the fitting, and also the outside of the pipe. You'll see us doing that. Then, typical sandpaper, a coarse grade. Right, this is an 80 grit, right? You can go higher, right? But I'm using an 80 grit, right? Sandpaper. It doesn't matter the color, right? Then our wire brush. So the wire brush is designed for cleaning the inside of the fitting, right? To get out any debris or what you don't need on the inside of the fitting. Because in order for soldering to take place, you have to have clean surfaces. Right? Then after we have done the cleaning process, then we're going to be doing the fluxing process. And the fluxing process is actually using regular flux paste, right? Regular flux paste and a flux brush or a regular paintbrush, right? So you would have to dip brush into the flux paste, and then you gently apply or generously apply to the inside of the fitting and the outside of the pipe. You don't want to put a large blob, but you will see when I'm doing it anyway. Then after you have fluxed, you want to insert the pipe into the fitting, right? And that's easy, right? You push, generous pressure, twist, ensure that it is inserted all the way in, right? Till you feel it stops, and right? And that's fine, right? Then we will move on to the last process, which is your propane, or this is mop gas, right? Mop gas actually burns hotter than propane, right? Based on temperature. So you will attach your torch or your tip to your gas, right? And then you will use the flint of this lighter, or a flint and steel, or a spark lighter, to actually ignite the gas. After you have done that, then you would apply the solder. So for water supply pipe, we recommend, and this is by code, we recommend a flux, lead free solder, meaning no lead in it at all, right? For drainage application, solder can be used. The lead solder can be used. All right, so let's start the process. All right, so first thing we want to do is cut the pipe, and we're going to be using our tubing cutter. So we want to open it to the specific size of the pipe. We want to insert the pipe inside the tubing cutter. We want to lock it, or adjusting the knob clockwise, right, to the desired length that you want. Then you're going to be rotating. So every revolution or every rotation, you want to turn on the handle a quarter turn. So you will see, right? And you repeat the process. So every time it reaches to you, you tighten on the handle, right? And you will do that procedure until the pipe cuts right through, and that should not take too long. All right, it's coming, and there we go. So we now have two pieces. The pipe is now shared, right? Two pieces. So after you have done that, you want to proceed to ream. So the tubing cutter has a built-on reamer, and that is pretty much to remove the inside burrs, or that edge that you're seeing, that sharp edge. Please don't put your finger in there, it will cut you. That sharp edge, and you will use the reamer to remove it, to return the inside diameter to its original. All right, so all you do is just move it up and down, inside out, right? And what that will do is remove that inside edge. All right, so just hit it with the sandpaper a little bit. All right, so please remember, as soon as you finish using your stuff, you put them down, right? You don't want to get anything mixed up. You don't want to mess up the process. So after you have done that, then you want to proceed to clean. So cleaning the pipe using our steel wool, and we just want to pretty much do our best to polish the outside of the pipe, because as I said, for soldering to take place, the surface has to be clean. All right, you realize the change in the color when we are using this. All right, so the copper pipes normally they come fairly clean, but we're just using this just to ensure. All right, there we go, nice and shiny. Look at the difference with here to the difference with down here. See the difference, all right? And then we want to use our wire brush on the inside of the fitting. All right, so we place it on the inside of the fitting, and all we want to do is move it around, spin it around. For persons who are cleaning multiple fittings, like a large amount, I recommend, if you have a spare brush, right, you get more than one, you can clip the wire right here, and you can attach it to your drill, and that will actually save you the time of using your hand to do so. All right, so look inside of the fitting, shine. That's what we want to see. So after we have done that, then we want to insert pipe inside the fitting, right? Just to ensure that it fits. We don't want any part of it to bend or anything. Alright, so we want to proceed to flux. Alright, so what we want to do is have a little bit of flux on our brush. Alright, a generous amount, look at it. We want to insert the flux inside of the fitting, coating the inside of the fitting. And then the outside of the pipe. Remember, the flux enables soldering to take place. So the flux doesn't only coat the surface, which helps in the cleaning, but the flux also permits the solder to flow upward into the fitting. Alright, so after we have flux, then we want to insert pipe into fitting. You will see the flux bulging up, or out rather. Put away all of these. Then we want to proceed with the soldering process. Alright, so we're going to be lighting our torch. Right, and we're going to be using the spark from this lighter. So we want to adjust our gas. Some torches may have a lower gas flow where it will be able to light a lot easier, but we're using MAP gas. MAP gas tend to have a higher burning point, so it needs a lot more gas to flow. So listen. There we go. There we go. Alright, so we want to proceed to heat the joint. So heating the joint, what I normally recommend is that you heat the joint from the lowest point and the heat rises. So presently where I'm at now, I want to heat the joint here. And then you want to test to see if the actual solder is melting. Alright, so you realize it is melting. So what you want to do is just force the solder inside of the joint. Alright, so you want to ensure that you catch all the edges. Ease off the flame. Wipe off the excess. Wipe off the excess solder before it dries with your rag. Please ensure that you don't flash it on anybody. Alright? And please bear in mind, the joint is hot. So that's why you realize that I am actually holding it with the pliers. Alright? And then after you have done that, you want to inspect your joint. Please remember to like, to share, to subscribe, and also leave your comments. I hope that you would have learned something from this experience, and look out for other videos in the future.